Well, good evening, everybody. It's Will Tool. It's Labor Day weekend 2024. We're going to do some Field of Dreams as long as I have a voice tonight, since tomorrow is a holiday. Welcome in as people start filing into the ballpark. Feel free to drop a message. I can't say when I will see it, but it will probably be very shortly. I just want to check out a couple of things on the YouTube channel. Let's see if I can hear myself here. Indeed, I can. So we're going to put that on Hello Bernie. We're going to put that on mute, and I'm going to try to hello. Hello is that Marshfield, I believe. Good deal. So I can sort of see people's comments on the YouTube, albeit with a delay on my phone. We're going to start here shortly as we do. I know there's a lot of good games. As we start, it's May 9th of season 5. In the Moneyball division, we're going to start out with the standings. You can see them, but I'll read them for those that have to squint to read the screen. We have T-ville leading the Moneyball division, or tied in the Moneyball division, with Beantown at 21 and 12, and Beantown is 22 and 13. In the Around the Horn division, we have St. Louis ahead of Florence by 2.5. We may do one of their games. They've got a great series coming up that could have some implications for the division there. We also have in the Sandlot division the Degens, Washington, and Lancaster tied for first place, all a game over 500. In the Naturals division, we have Amazing 9.5 up on Cleveland at 25 and 10, probably tied for the best record in baseball. And in the Benchwarmers division, we have 19 and 15 Vegas, who is two games up on Hadley Lake. And in the Rain Delay division, it looks like San Fran is also tied for the best record in baseball at 25 and 10. They are two games clear of Manchester, and I believe those two squads play later in the week. So what we're going to do is we're going to go as long as I have some energy. It may be 2 hours, it may be longer than two. I don't have to get up in the morning right away, so it may be a little late night baseball action. Please let me know in the YouTube chat if you can hear me. I seem to think it's working all right, but again, thought that before, and we don't want to broadcast the whole game if you cannot hear me. So please indicate yay or nay whether you can hear me, and we will carry on from there. So I'm thinking, yes, we can hear. All right, you guys can hear me. So we're going to start. Here's a good looking game right out of the gate. Florence and St. Louis. We could play that. Well, there's so many great options here. I know Hadley Lake and Philadelphia have a set, but I also know later in the week that Vegas and Hadley Lake have a set as well. And there are some other great games along with San Fran and Manchester. So maybe what we'll start off with, we don't get to hear them too often on this channel. Maybe we'll start right out of the gate with Florence and St. Louis and see where it goes on this May 9th. We're going to pop them that way. We're going to put them both to human. There we go. Oh, Washington and Degens. Yes, that's a good game too. You're very right. We may have a whole slate of games to go here. So we will definitely go with that and see how it shakes out. So we're going to start off, as I said, with Florence and St. Louis. We'll start right off with that game. We'll hold everybody in suspense. I hope my game is going to take from a pitcher other than Camden Yards, but we will see. So let's head on over to the ballpark in St. Louis. So indeed we are, mercifully going to have a different ballpark. Thankfully. I am so thankful for that, at least visually speaking. Now, of course, the game is set where it's set, so we'll go from there. here we go to play. And as I have to, pardon me as I walk myself through this and do this, I have to talk myself through it every time just because. And then we're going to do that. And we are going to do that. And we have the lineups, we have the pitching rotations, and let's get ready to go. And I am going to put this phone on so I can actually see the chats. Thanks to Bernie and to Marshfield. I believe it's Marshfield. If not, it will be the first of many errors on the night. Let's be clear. So welcome into both of you. Let's hope that others will jump on as they can. We're going to go as late as we can. So here we go. So we hope you're having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. And yes, I was correct. Indeed, it is Marshfield. So we'll go from there. Welcome. And we're going to be playing this game at PNC Park. Welcome to PNC Park for today's game between Florence and St. Louis. Cliff Lee will start for Florence. He's made 6 starts on the year and is 0-5 with an ERA of 4.53. It's his second start against St. Louis. He's 0-1 against them with a 6.75 ERA. He'll be composed by Roger Craig for St. Louis. Craig has made 6 starts on the year and is 4-2 with an ERA of 2.22. It's his first start against Florence. Florence first baseman Freddie Freeman is riding a 10-game hitting streak. It's 67 degrees and with light rain. So this game may be a very interesting one in that sense. Let's get down to the ball field and see what transpires.
Play ball!
There we have it. And as you can see, in the field, St. Louis takes the field first. And indeed they do. St. Louis takes the field first. The Hawks are led on the hill by Roger Craig. Behind the plate is his battery mate, Mark Piazza. Out in left, it's Moon. In center, it's Mike Trout. In right, it is Roberto Clemente. From first to third, we have third to first, rather. We have George Brett, Archie Vaughan, Eddie Collins, and fancy that, Albert Pujols. Wouldn't you know, he's made his way to the mighty St. Louis Ball Club. Somehow I'm not surprised at that. As Craig takes the rubber and Ryan Sandberg saddles in for the for Florence, Florence, Ryan Sandberg will stand in, I believe. Indeed he does. Ryan Sandberg is leading off. He's leading off, batting .265 with 5 homers and 19 RBI on the season. Craig gets the sign from Piazza and deals. And that ball is dribbled out to short. Vaughn charges it, fires to first for the out. 1 up, 1 down. And here we moving right along. It's Lou Boudreau, the shortstop for Florence, batting .233 with 3 homers and 22 RBI on the year. Craig deals. And that one is lifted. Lazy fly out to center field. Trout glides under it and makes the grab for out number 2. Next up, we have Josh Hamilton, the center fielder, batting .275, no homers and 1 RBI. Craig works, and that ball is shot back up the middle. Collins ranges over, makes the toss to first for out number 3. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for St. Louis as they come to the plate. Now in the field for Florence, say that 5 times fast. In the field for Florence, Cliff Lee will take the hill. Behind the plate is Davis catching. In left, we've done in left, Hamilton in center, Nelson Cruz in right. From third to first, we have Adrian Beltre, Lou Boudreau, Ryan Sandberg at second, and Freddie Freeman at first. And as mentioned before, Cliff Lee is on the hill. And he'll be squaring off against Wally Moon, just to get things going for St. Louis. Here's the pitch for Lee. And that ball is laced into the corner down and right. It rattles around. Moon rounds first, and he'll make his way to second on a bang throw. But Wally Moon is in sliding for his 6th double of the year. And right off the bat, the St. Louis Hawks have begun this inning with a bang. Now up is Eddie Collins batting. Collins is batting .282 with a homer and 13 RBI. The pitch to him, and that ball is dribbled back to the mound. Lee's off the mound and makes the throw. The bunt was successful, apparently. Collins got the job done, moved the runner to third, and with one down, the going run is only 90 feet away. Now up is Mike Piazza batting .274 with 7 homers and 26 RBIs. Lee delivers. And that one is scorched into the left field corner. It'll rattle into the corner. Bad play out there in left by Dunn as Piazza waltzes into second base with a go-ahead run. And just like that, 2 of the first 3 batters have gone for extra bases, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. Now up is the mighty Elba Pujols, who's batting .269, 3 homers and 6 RBIs already on this season. He's a very dangerous bat with Piazza on second. There, St. Louis is hoping to break this one wide open, while Lee just wants to stop the bleeding here. And the pitch. And that one is bounced out to third. Beltre is up with it over to first. It'll be close, but Pujols is out, and that isn't going to stop on an excellent play, although Piazza will make his way to third base. Adrian Beltre is a special third baseman, and he really had to dig for that one to record the out. Nonetheless, there's 2 down as Mike Trout stands in, batting .333 with a homer and 5 RBI. Here's the pitch. And that ball is smoked out to left, high, down the line. Dunn carries back and waves it into his glove for out number 3. So after 1, it's 1-0 St. Louis, headed to the top of the second. Craig will return to the hill for the Hawks, and in comes Adam Dunn, batting .222 with 8 homers and 13 RBI on the young season. Craig works and fires, and that ball pounds the zone, but a shade outside it is, and Dunn will make his way to first base. Now up, it's Adrian Beltre, batting .227 with 7 homers, 25 RBIs. Apologies for all of the gaffes tonight, as Craig looks over to first. Pujols holds the runner, and Craig fires. That ball is dribbled out to third. Brett has it. Fires over to second for 1, and on to first to retire the 2. So there's a twin killing in the books for St. Louis as Nelson Cruz comes up, batting .254 for Florence. He's got 5 homers and 14 RBIs already. The pitch. And that one is scorched out to left, high and deep. It's carrying, but Moon is under it and makes the grab for out number 3. After 1.5, it's 1-0 St. Louis, the home team coming up. Cliff Lee's on the hill, and the home leading off for the home team is Roberto Clemente, who is batting in the 6th hole. The right fielder is 273 with no homers and no RBIs thus far. The pitch from Lee. And that one is bounding. It's a bounding ball out to Boudreau, who gloves it, fires to first for out number 1. Next up for the Hawks is Edgar Martinez, who's batting 227 with 4 homers and 15 RBIs. The pitch. And that ball is scorched into the hole, but Freeman is there, will scramble to get to the base, and he does for out number 2. So quick work there by Cliff Lee, who may have settled in. He's now going to square off against George Brett, who's batting 306 with 2 homers and 15 RBI. The pitch from Brett to Brett. And that ball is smoked out to Boudreau and over his head, and it will drop into shallow left center. Brett's going to stretch it out and make his way into second base for his 12th double of the season already. And wouldn't you know, that's 3 extra base hits on the day for the St. Louis Hawks as Archie Vaughn stays in 1877 with a home run for the pitch. The runner's off. The ball is a bounding ball to Boudreau, who has it, fires long across his body, and gets Vaughn to end the inning. So after 2, it's 1-0 St. Louis as we head to the top of the 3rd. Now up comes Freddie Freeman, as we mentioned before, is riding a 10-game hitting streak. He's batting 284 with 6 homers and 14 RBI. The pitch from Craig. And Freeman laces it out to center field. It's carrying, but Trout is there and makes the grab for out number 1. Next up comes Cesar Geronimo, batting 238, 2 homers and 7 RBIs for the Florence Firebirds. Craig gets the sign and deals. And that ball is scorched to third. Brett is up with it quick, but not quick enough. And Geronimo is safe at first base for the first hit of the day for the Florence Firebirds. Now up comes Jody Davis, batting 202, is the catcher. He's got 4 homers, 12 RBIs. Craig gives a glance to first and deals. And that ball is a bounding ball to second baseman Collins, who shovels it to first for out number 2 as the runner advances to second base. Back at the top of the order we are with Ryan Sandberg batting 283. He's 0 for 1 on the day. And the pitch from Craig. The runner is off. The ball is cut on and missed, strike 3. So just like that, after 2.5 innings, although they got their first hit, Florence finds themselves behind 1-0. Now up comes Wally Moon, who led off the game for St. Louis with a ringing double. He would score earlier, or he would score as well as Lee comes set. The pitch. And that ball is shot out to right. It's carrying back, but Cruz is there, makes the catch for out number 1, and getting a huge out in the process. Now up comes Eddie Collins. His first time up was a bunt to sacrifice the runner over the third. He may not have got a hit in the hit column, but he certainly had a big hand in the first run scoring as Lee comes set. The pitch. That one is hit out to Sandberg, who gloves it, tosses to first for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Mike Piazza, who doubled his first time up and ultimately did not score, but Piazza had a hand and drove in the first run of the game, as we can see earlier. The pitch to Piazza. And that ball is smashed over the head of Sandberg, but he's there, makes a lunging grab for out number 3. After 3, it's 1-0 St. Louis over Florence. Leading off for the top of the fourth is Lou Boudreau for the Firebirds of Florence. He's batting .231 with 5 homers, 22 RBIs. 0 for 1 on the day as Craig comes set and deals. And that ball shades the zone. Boudreau gets the call and will make his way down to first base on Craig's second walk of the day. Let's see what Josh Hamilton can do for the Firebirds as we get settled in. Now, Roger Craig gets the sign from Piazza. The runner is looking, sizing up the situation. Craig looks to first, fires homeward, and that ball is ball 4. Back-to-back walks for Craig. Not what you want to see if you're St. Louis, but the makings of something maybe in the works here for Florence with Adam Dunn stepping in. He's batting .222 with 8 homers and 13 RBIs and reached base early. The pitch from Craig. And the throw to first is picked off. That's a pickoff. Isn't it? No, it was close. It was a tight one. Hamilton does get back. They thought they had him napping on that pitch out, and the count is 1-0. Craig works with a 1-0 count. And that ball is trickled back to Craig, who shovels it underhand to Pujols, gets his man, but not before the 2 runners advance. Now up we have Adrian Beltre, 0 for 1 on the day. Let's see what he can do. He's a very solid hitter and can get in the clutch. As we say, 1 man down, runners on second and third, and the pitch from Craig. And that ball is looped out past the head of Archie Vaughn. A run will score. The throw into third is not in time, and Beltre ties it up just like that. A seeing eye bloop single. You can always count on Adrian Beltre if you're Florence, and it's tied at 1 with Nelson Cruz standing in. Cruz is a threat to go deep, although he hasn't done a lot of that this season. He's got 5 homers and 14 RBIs thus far, and Craig may be on the ropes here in the mid-innings. We will see. He gets the sign from Piazza and works. And that looks like it's right down the heart of Dixie. Indeed it is. For strikeout number 2, a big out was that, and it's all down to Freddie Freeman to continue his 10-game hitting streak against Roger Craig. Freeman steps in, takes a practice swing, and the pitch comes homeward. And that ball is right on the outside corner, so back-to-back strikeouts. It could have been worse for St. Louis, but Florence holds level after 3.5. It's 1-1. Albert Pujols will be leading off for the St. Louis Hawks, followed by Mike Trout and Roberto Clemente. The pitch from Cliff Lee. And that ball is inside. I think it grazed Pujols. Indeed it did, and he'll take a walk to first base with Mike Trout standing in. The pitch to Trout. Trout's 0 for 1 on the day. The pitch to him. And that ball looks close, and it is. Lee rings him up for the first strikeout of the day and the first out of the inning. Now up comes Roberto Clemente, who's 0 for 1. He's got no homers, no RBI since he joined St. Louis earlier this month, I believe. The pitch from Lee. And that ball is back up the middle. Boudreau is there, shovels to second for 1. Sandberg on to first, and it is a double play to end the inning. So what started out very promising for St. Louis ended in a twin killing. And we'll head to the 5th inning, 1-1, with Geronimo standing in for the Firebirds. He's 1 for 1 on the day as Roger Craig toes the rubber. And just a quick look to see what Geronimo has done. He singled on the infield. He legged out an infield single, did he? The pitch from Craig. And that ball, very well located. And that's strikeout number 4 for Roger Craig to log the first out of the inning. Next up is Jody Davis, who's 0 for 1. Earlier today, he flew out to center. He grounded to second, advancing Geronimo in the second inning. The pitch to Craig. And that ball, also very well located, brings him up to his lead, or does Craig rather, and that's the 5th strikeout of the day. Sandberg will be leading back at the top of the order with Ryan Sandberg, who's 0 for 2, and Craig settles in and works. That ball is lifted out to center, shallow. Back goes Trout on it, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for St. Louis as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Now up it's Edgar Martinez, who's 0 for 1. There's a lot of 0 for 1s, but Martinez is batting .226 with 4 homers and 15 RBIs. Lee gets the signal and delivers. That one right in the heart of Dixie for strikeout number 2 and strike 3. The pitchers are really settling in here. They've had offensively, there have been chances for both teams, but neither has really pulled out ahead. It's been a great game to this point as George Brett stands in, and he is 1 for 1. Brett double to left center in the second inning. Here's the pitch from Lee. And Brett made solid contact and laces that ball on a screen on the line into right field for a base hit single. Archie Vaughn will see if he can follow that up. He's 0 for 1 thus far today. 1 man down. Brett's at first, and the pitch comes plateward. And that ball lifted. It's shallow fly ball into center field. Hamilton is under it, makes the grab for out number 2 as Brett retreats to first. We're back at the top of the order for St. Louis with Wally Moon, who doubled in the first and flied to shallow right in the third, I believe. Yes, I believe he did in the third. Runner on first, 2 men down. The pitch comes homeward. And that ball is back up the middle, and it bloops into center. It'll drop right in front of Hamilton, and Brett will leg it out to third on a bang-bang play, and he's safe. Boone will scoot into second. So runners at second and third with 2 down, and Eddie Collins still within. For those who are just joining us, Eddie Collins, first time up was a sacrifice bunt, and he flew out the second, and he flew out, I believe, his last time. Oh, grounded out to second his last time. The pitch from Lee. They're going to talk it over, and Lee's going to deal. That ball is grounded back to the pitcher, who throws it away, and a run comes home. What a critical error by Cliff Lee. He was a little overeager on that one, and it just sailed on Freeman, allowing the run to score, and St. Louis takes the lead. Moon will stop at third. Collins is at first, and Piazza stands in, hoping for more. He's doubled earlier in this game and was retired his last time up. The throw to first, that is not an error. It's a fluke of the game, and sometimes an error will show up right after what has been committed, but an error is not, and Collins will stay at first. Lee stand throws. And that ball is strike 3, but not before St. Louis pulls ahead in the bottom of the 5th inning on a critical Cliff Lee error. We head to the top of the 6th with Lou Boudreau standing in. He's 0 for 1, batting .231, 3 homers, and 22 RBI. The pitch from Craig. And Boudreau pops it sky high, and it is foul ball out. He pockets it to Piazza for out number one. Next up, we have Boudreaux. Oh, no, it was. We'll do it all over again. Excuse me. The 0-2 count from Craig. And that ball is shot out to Vaughn, who throws it over to first and by the first baseman Pujols. That's Archie Vaughn's sixth of the season. And just like that, Boudreaux is aboard on what should have been an out to his counterpart. Now Josh Hamilton is standing in. He's 0 for 1 as Roger Craig delivers. That ball is in the hole and past Archie Vaughn, and it will be a base hit single. So Florence has something going here in the top of the sixth inning. Now up comes the left fielder, Adam Dunn, as he strides to the plate with purpose. Nobody out here in the top of the sixth inning. And Roger Craig will deal. And that ball goes to the backstop, and things just go from bad to worse for St. Louis as runners advance to second and third with nobody down. And it's a 3-1 count to Adam Dunn. Craig needs to find his way out of this if St. Louis is going to retain the lead. The pitch. That ball is blistered past the dive of Eddie Collins. Tying run will come home. The trail runner will stop at third, Will Hamilton, and Dunn will stop at first. So just like that, once again, we are tied at 2. Now up comes Adrian Beltry, who drove in a run on a single earlier, and a hit here will put his squad, the Firebirds, up. The pitch from Craig. And that sounded smacked hard, but Brett is at third, and he makes a lunging grab. That was a blister out to third. Brett really did well to make a play on that one, and a big out without the runners advancing. It gets no easier as Nelson Cruz stands in, 0 for 2 on the day, and Craig gets the sign from Piazza. The pitch, and that one is lifted. Lazy fly ball to center. Trout ranges over, makes the grab, and will the runner score? Indeed, he will. Hamilton advances homeward to put the Firebirds up 3-2. Cruz got the job done. He put a charge in it. Certainly St. Louis would have liked more, but they can't complain there with the lead. Pushing ahead with 2 runs here in the 6th. It's up, or Florence rather, excuse me. Florence pushing ahead. They're very satisfied with that. And Freddie Freeman standing in, hoping to put even more on the board for Aaron Reed's team. The pitch from Craig. And that one is also lifted. It's lazy fly ball to center. Trout ranges under, signals he has it, and he does to end the inning. Down to 5.5, the away side leads 3-2, with St. Louis coming up in the form of Albert Pujols, Mike Trout, and Roberto Clemente. Cliff Lee stands at 66 pitches as Pujols comes to the plate. And that ball is hit well back up the middle and looped into center. Hamilton will just toss it back in, but not before Pujols reaches base for his first hit of the day. Now up we have Mike Trout, who's 0 for 2, hoping to extend things for St. Louis as the pitch comes plateward. And that ball was scored out to center. The crowd is on their feet. The ball is carrying back, and it is off the top of the wall, it appears. Indeed it is. Pujols will score in a bang-bang play. What a play was that? Oh, he does not score. Excuse me, they're calling him out. That might warrant a review, but They're not going to reverse themselves. That was a bang-bang play at the plate. Pujols tried to stretch it in and score all the way from first and couldn't do it. What a play. Trout sails into second. And St. Louis really should have runners at second and third. Let's see if they can cash in here with Clemente. Only one man down. The pitch from Lee. And that one is squished into the hole. It looks promising. The throw to third is not in time. Runners at first and third. And that Pujols being out at the plate looms even larger as Edgar Martinez steps in at 0 for 2 on the day. The throw from Lee. And that one's lifted. Shallow fly ball, towering fly ball behind second. Boudreaux is there for out number 2. And next up will be George Brett, who's 2 for 2 on the day. He's had an excellent game thus far. He's had a single and a double, I believe. Memory serves. A double and a single. A single in the first time up, a double his last time. Lee works. And that ball is back to the hill in no man's land. Boudreaux has to rush the throw, and he gets his man, and St. Louis is just irate. What a eventful inning that was, having the tie and run gunned down at the plate. They really feel like they missed an opportunity there as we head to the top of the 7th. But that's baseball, and Florence has the lead, headed into the top of the 7th, 3-2. Roger Craig will take the hill once again for St. Louis as Cesar Geronimo stands in. Geronimo is 1 for 2 on the day. The pitch. And that ball buzzes the zone, but not quite close enough. Indeed, it is close enough. That's strikeout number 6 for Craig. He got the call from the umpire. Maybe it was a make-up call for the play of the last inning. Who knows? But nonetheless, it's out number 1 as Jody Davis stands in. The delivery. And that one pours over the zone for strikeout number 7. Drop strike 3 right in there. 2 up, 2 down with Ryan Sandberg. The pitch to Sandberg. He's 0 for 2. And that one shot right back up the middle. Collins dives, can't come up with it. And the runner reach is aboard. And Ryan Sandberg with 2 men down. Now it's Lou Boudreaux standing in again. He's 0 for 2, trying to extend the inning. And Craig wings it over to first for a pickoff, and he gets his man. How about that as we head to the middle of the 7th and take me out to the ball game? Six and a half home. It's 3-2 for Lawrence Firebirds. Archie Vaughn will stand in for the home team, hoping to get something started. He's had a miserable day at the plate in 0 for 2. And Lee tosses it home for strikeout number 4. He rung him up on an outside pitch. Just did graze the zone. Now it's Wally Moon, who's 2 for 3. Back to the top of the order we go. And Moon has doubled off the wall down the first base line, fly to shallow right, and singled up the middle. Let's see what he can do here as Lee delivers. That one is lifted, popped up. We'll get the verdict in a sec. I think it's out of bounds, and it is foul. So we'll do it all over again with an 0-2 count from Lee. And that hits the zone, hits its mark. Strikeout number 5. 2 up, 2 down. As Eddie Collins stands in at 0 for 2. Lee delivers. Collins gets a bat on it, sends it fly high. Arcing ball out to center field. Hamilton's there, makes the grab for out number 3. After 7, still 3-2 Florence. Leading off for the Firebirds here in the top of the 8th is Lou Boudreau, 0 for 2. He was at bat the last inning when his predecessor on board, Sandberg, got picked off, lollygagging at first. Craig is still on the hill and fires homeward. That one is a scathing, bounding ball to Pujols, who collects it and makes the out. What a play that was to retire his man. It was a tricky hop, but not much gets by Pujols. Now up comes Josh Hamilton, who is 1 for 2 on the day. He's got an RBI, I believe. Indeed, he does. The pitch. And that ball is scalded up the middle, looped into center. It will fall. And Hamilton is aboard once again as Adam Dunn makes his way to the plate. Dunn is 1 for 2. And Craig will look the runner back with 1 man down here in the top of the 8th, trying to get out of this inning unscathed and give his team a chance. Dunn awaits the pitch. And that ball is strike 3, strikeout number 8 for Roger. Now it's Adrian Beltre, the nemesis of the day. Beltre has a hit, and he's got a single that drove in a run. So Beltre has contributed in many ways today, both offensively and defensively. Craig gets the sign from Piazza, looks Hamilton back, fires to first, and holds his man in place. We'll do it all over again. Now that ball, Beltre laces it into left, and that's a solid ringing hit. As Hamilton will trot to third. Beltre stops at first. 2 men on, 2 men down, and it's all down to Nelly Cruz, who I believe brought home the go-ahead run on a sac fly. Indeed, he did. The sacrifice fly scoring Hamilton his last time up in the 6th. The pitch from Craig. And that ball will get the verdict. It's strike 3, and that's all she wrote for Florence, who was knocking on the door. Let's see if St. Louis can capitalize here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Leading off for the Hawks is Piazza. He's batting .276 with 7 homers, 27 RBIs. Cliff Lee is still on the hill. Piazza's batting 1 for 3. The pitch, homeward, and that ball is blistered over there to Sandberg into right center. And just like that, Piazza is aboard with Pujols standing in. Pujols, you'll recall, didn't hit him last time up, but he's still starting to be thrown out at the plate in his last time up. Pujols is 1 for 2 as Lee surveys the situation and deals. And that ball, Pujols scoots one into left field, a seeing eye single. So things have gone from bad to worse for the Florence Firebirds. Pujols got his bat on it and sent it into the go hole. Now up is Mike Trout, who doubled his last time up. Should have resulted in an RBI. As we mentioned before, Pujols got gunned down at the plate in a bang-bang play. The review was clear that he did indeed get thrown out. Nonetheless, Trout has got a double on the day. We'll see what transpires here. He's 1 for 3 thus far. The pitch. And that's solid contact, lifted out, high and deep to left, carrying back. And once again, it's off the top of the wall. We'll see what happens. It's caught at the wall. So Trout hit it as hard as you could hit it, and the left fielder, Dunn, made an incredible grab right at the top of the fence for out number one. And so once again, St. Louis has missed a huge opportunity. We'll see if this is a continuing trend as Clemente stands in 1 for 3. The pitch from Lee. And that one's back up the middle. Sandberg will flip for 1 to Boudreau, and Clemente is gunned down on the back end. So once again, St. Louis comes away empty-handed. And talking about a cat with 9 lives is Florence. They've danced all around it today. St. Louis has picked up 10 hits, but has very little to show for it. Nonetheless, Florence is hoping to capitalize here in the top of the 9th against Roger Craig. This may yet be Freddie Freeman's last chance at extending his 10-game hitting streak. We'll see as the pitch comes plateward. And what do you know? It's a pop up high. Piazza calls for it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Next up is Cesar Geronimo, 1 for 3 on the day. The pitch from Craig. And that ball is bounced out to second. Collins collects it, fires to first for out number 2 rather. And next up will be Jody Davis. This is their last chance to extend it for Florence. Davis delivers. And that is ball 4. Delayed call. That's his 4th walk of the day. Sandberg will come to plate once again. He's 1 for 4 on the day. The pitch from Craig. That's lifted out. High pop up, high out to center. And Trout is there. He'll make the grab to retire the side. It's all down to this with Edgar Martinez, George Brett, and Archie Vaughn as Cliff Lee is going for a complete game. He's just thrown his 100th pitch, but we'll see what St. Louis can do here in the bottom of the 9th as Florence is clinging to a 3-2 lead. The pitch from Lee. Right back up the middle and looped into center field. Hamilton pulls up on it, and Martinez is aboard for the first. We'll see how this all shakes out as George Brett steps in 2 for 3. Lee comes set and fires. That ball is speared into the gap. It will break the gap, and Martinez will hit third. Brett will hit second. That's his second double of the day. And just like that, once again, St. Louis is knocking at the door. Now, it should be noted, Archie Vaughn is the It should be noted that Archie Vaughn has 1 game-winning RBI on the season. Can he do it again? Cliff Lee gets the signal. And that one's bounded to third. He'll throw to first. Will Beltre to retire to the first over the inning. That's 1 down. Now it's up to the top of the order. Wally Moon. He's got a game-winning as well. He's 2 for 4 on the day. The runners are back. Are they going to see the run? We'll see. They're coming in. The pitch. And that ball's cued into no man's land. Sandberg shovels to first. Did a run score? No. But a runner moved into scoring position to George Brett. And it's all up to Eddie Collins. You can cut the tension with a knife, as Cliff Lee works. Here's the pitch. And that ball bounced, looping ball to Boudreaux, who doesn't make the play. And what do you know? We got a tie ball game. Eddie Collins pulls St. Louis level. Wow, what a play. Infield hit for Eddie Collins, and Mike Piazza will stand in 2 for 4. Here's the pitch from Lee, who needs to collect himself. We'll see what transpires. And that ball is back up the middle. Lee collects, fires to first, and we're going to have extra baseball, it would appear. We're headed to the 10th inning, tied at 3. What a game we have seen here today. Roger Craig is still on the hill as Lou Boudreaux leads off the 10th for Florence. The pitch. And that's a ball. That one's looped high and deep to left, and high and deep and out of the park. Foul. That was a loud foul. Craig kind of wants that one back as the 2-2, as he gets ready to toss the 2-2. And that ball breaks the zone for strikeout number 10. Craig can't have anything to hang his head at there. Now up comes Josh Hamilton, who's 2 for 3 on the day, batting .296. Hamilton singled up the middle in the 8th, walked in the 4th, and grounded a single in the 6th. Here's the pitch. Andrew Miller's coming in to relieve Roger Craig. Let's see if we have any other changes. We don't appear to at the moment. The pitch from Miller. And that one hits the zone for strike 3 and strikeout number 1. Next up, we have Adam Dunn, 1 for 3 with 8 homers and 14 RBI. He drove one in earlier. Here's the pitch from Miller. And that hits the zone. So the first 2 men he faces are strikeouts, and we're headed to the bottom of the 10th. Still tied at 3. Cliff Lee appears to be tiring, and that's not what you want to see if you're Florence with Albert Pujols standing in. Let's see if they make a change. They don't, and Pujols smacks one into center field for a single. Hamilton bobbled it briefly, but not before Pujols reached base. They are now going to Dennis O'Day, I believe, Darren O'Day, excuse me. And Darren O'Day will be the new pitcher of record. He's got a 2.89 ERA, 1-0, 9.1 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts in that time, and 2 walks. Here's the pitch from O'Day to Trout. And Trout bounces it to third. Beltre up with it, throws to second for 1. That's all they'll get. 1 man down with Roberto Clemente standing in, batting 1 for 4. O'Day works, but they make a pitch and switch to Mel Ott, who's got 2 game-winning RBIs, but who missed that pitch and whiffed on it for strike 3. Now up, it's Edgar Martinez with 2 men down and a runner at first. The pitch from O'Day. That one shot to Beltre once again. He'll go the short way to second, and 3 up, 3 down. And we're headed on to the 11th inning. Still tied at 3. Andrew Miller standing in against, pitching to Adrian Beltre. Now Beltre, as we noted earlier, now he's 2 for 4. He has a single. He had a single in the 8th, lined out in the 6th, Single between third and short in the fourth, scoring a runner, and has already accounted for himself very well today. Miller deals. That ball is fisted into right field for Beltre's third hit of the day, when the Firebirds are in business with Nelson Cruz standing in. Cruz is 0 for 3, but he has driven sacrificed home run. The pitch from Miller. And that ball looks to be low, but it's strike three, one down, excuse me. And Freddie Freeman once again comes up with a 10-game hitting streak. Can he extend it against one of the game's best? Miller deals. Freeman bounced it back up the middle to Collins, who flips to second for one. It won't go down as a hit, but St. Louis retires their second man, records the second out of the inning, with Geronimo standing in. The pitch to Geronimo. Michael Young will be standing in, batting .429 with 1 RBI, and that looks to be inside for ball 4. Or not. Maybe it's not. Let's see. Freeman will stay first. It may have been. Here's the pitch. And that ball's right over the heart of the plate. Throw to second. And Freeman is in there for his first steal of the season. 2-0 is the count on Young. And wouldn't you know, St. Louis is in a bit of danger here as the ball comes homeward. That ball is lifted out to center field. Trout ranges back on it, makes the grab for out number 3. After 10.5, it's tied at 3. Now up is George Brett batting 3 for 4 against Darren O'Day. Or rather, he's batting 3 for 4 on the day, and he'll be facing Darren O'Day. The pitch. Brett gets the bat on it, sends it high and deep. Well, not so deep, rather, but high, out to Sandberg for out number 1. Next up is Archie Vaughn, 0 for 4 on the day. He's had a tough one, and it gets no easier as he faces O'Day. The pitch from O'Day. And that ball is blistered into over the head of the second baseman Sandberg and into shallow right center. Once again, Vaughn is on the board, and we're back at the top of the order with Wally Moon, batting .333 with a homer and 5 RBI. O'Day deals. And that one is bounced out to Boudreaux on the slow hop, who goes to second for 1. And that's all they'll get as Moon beats it out. Now up we have Eddie Collins batting .281 with a homer, 14 RBI. Collins brought home the tying run in the bottom of the 9th inning, and we'll see what he can do here. There was no hit bigger for St. Louis. The throw to first. Moon is back safely, and Collins already has 1 game-winning RBI on this season. Let's see what magic he has in store this time. The pitch. That one is lifted high. Out to right. Cruz is back on it, makes the grab. So we play on to the 12th. Leading off for Florence is Jody Davis, batting .196 with 4 homer and 12 RBI. Andrew Miller is still on the hill. We'll see how long that is the case. They're going to Guisti. They're going to Dave Guisti, who is got an .871 ERA on the season, 1-4, 10.1 innings pitched. Hang on to your hats as Guisti takes the run. Davis stands in. The pitch to him, and that's back up the middle. Vaughn misses it, and wouldn't you know, Davis is aboard. Not what you want to see if you're St. Louis here. They're in a bit of a jam and a bit of a pickle. Sandberg will step in to try to press Florence's luck. He's 1 for 5 on the day. Runners at first, nobody out. The pitch. And that ball is high and deep down the line, but Ott is not going to make it. It's foul low. The 1-2 count will be forthcoming to Sandberg. And that one is dribbled out to third. Brett has it, but he just puts it in his pocket. So here we have 2 men on, nobody out, and Lou Boudreau standing in. The pitch to Boudreau, and that's back to the hill. Piazza steps on it, throws to second for 1. They'll throw to first and get 2. An unconventional double play, and Florence is just up in arms over that. Boudreau slams the bat in disgust. Or slams his helmet in disgust, and as he heads back to the dugout, and Hamilton stands in 2 for 4. It's all up to him as Guisti deals, and that ball is back to Guisti. Collins has it though, and he'll throw to first. Guisti gets out of the inning, and wouldn't you know, we're headed to the bottom of the 12th in this seesaw twist of fate battle. Piazza standing in, batting 2 for 5. O'Day is on the hill, and he seems to be flagging. I think we're all flagging, if you want to know the truth of it, as O'Day deals. And that ball is lifted high to center field. Hamilton tracks it. Hamilton's back, and that ball is put away for a loud out nonetheless. Now up we have Albert Pujols, who's 3 for 4. He's collected 3 hits on the day. The pitch from O'Day. And that ball is scorched to Boudreau, who wings it over to first for out number 2. And now we'll see Mike Trout for the 6th time at bat. Trout's 1 for 5. He doubled. We don't need to rehash what happened on that play, but for those late coming in, it was a bang-bang play at the plate in which Pujols was gunned down. The pitch. And that ball out to Boudreau has it over to first. We head on to the 13th inning. Good grief, everybody. This fans are certainly getting their money's worth here as Adam Dunn stands in and Guisti awaits word. And Guisti awaits the sign. We should have mentioned earlier, but didn't, that Mel Ott is now fortifying right field for St. Louis since he came in. The pitch from Guisti. And that's swung on and missed, strike 3 for out number 1. Now up comes Beltre, who's got 3 hits on the day. It's 3 for 5. The pitch to him, and that one is lifted high behind third base, and Brett puts it away for out number 2. Now it's Nelly Cruz, and if you're St. Louis, you're probably going to want to walk Cruz here, because if anybody could end this game on the swing of a bat, and he can't do it because St. Louis is the home team, but Nelson Cruz certainly could put this in the books, put Florence ahead. The pitch. And that one's lifted out to center field. Trout headed back. He's there. 1, 2, 3 innings, and quietly go the Florence Firebirds. Leading off for St. Louis in the bottom of the 13th here is Mel Ott, who's 0 for 1. We'll see if they make a change. They're going to switch to Oliver. And Darren Oliver, I should say, he's got a 10.13 ERA and 5 1/3 innings pitch. We'll see how this goes. And it seems to be strike three. Oliver answered his critics on that first one, getting a big out and Mel off. Next up, we have Edgar Martinez, 1 for 5 on the day. His hit came the last time up, if memory serves. And indeed, it did not. He singled in the ninth, rather. So we'll see the pitch. And that ball is bounced out to second. Sandberg has it. Throws over to first for out number 2. Next up is George Brett, 3 for 5 on the day. 317 with 2 homers, 15 RBI. The pitch. Back up the middle, but Boudreaux is there, and he'll make the throw to first. On to the 14th we go. Nobody wants to win this game, but apparently Freddie Freeman is getting yet another chance to extend his hitting streak. He's 0 for 5. Guisti gets the sign from Piazza. Indeed. And that ball is lifted, carrying out to deep center, right center, and it is out of the park. Wouldn't you know, Freddie Freeman extends his hitting streak, but more importantly, hits his 7th home run of the season in the top of the 14th inning. What a play. He just caught a pitch he could handle and got it up in the jet stream, and that ball just kept carrying out of here. So it's 4-3 Florence, and Guisti, it was only a matter of time for him, the season he's been having. Now it's Michael Young, the DH, up for Florence, and Guisti fires. That ball is shot past Archie Vaughn. It's short, and things are starting to come unraveled for the St. Louis Hawks as Young makes his way to first with a single. Now up it's Jody Davis, who's 1 for 4. The pitch from Guisti, and that ball is bounced out to Pujols, who tosses to second for 1. Vaughn relays it back to first to get a double play, and that's 2 down, very much needed outs. And with Ryan Sandberg standing in for the 7th time today. Guisti comes set and fires. And that ball is shot out to Vaughn. Vaughn has it. He'll sling it to first and retire the side. But once again, St. Louis is in the hole, 4-3 off the Freddie Freeman blast, top part of this inning. Oliver is who they're going to go roll with. And Archie Vaughn is stepping in, 1 for 5. They're switching to Joe Nathan, apparently, and that's a wise move, although his ERA is 4.38. He's 0 for 1 with 3 saves in 12 innings. Here's the pitch from Nathan. And that ball is lifted high and deep to center field. Hamilton ranges under it, makes the catch for out number 1. Now up, back at the top of the order for the 7th time today is Wally Moon. He's got a pair of hits, and he'll square off against Nathan. The pitch. And that one's right back to Nathan, past Nathan. Sandberg deals, throws to first on the bang play for out number 2. And it's all down to Eddie Collins, who extended this game from the 9th with a single to bring home the tying run. He's 1 for 5 is Collins, and Nathan will deliver. And that ball should be caught out in right. Out behind second, it is. And that's the ball game. Florence, you can see it for yourselves. Florence beats the Hawks of St. Louis 4-3 and pulls within a game. I think player of the game obviously is going to go to Freddie Freeman. We're going to see here in a sec who indeed it does go to. And it is Freddie Freeman. as it should be. Freeman hit a home run in the top of the 14th inning to put Florence ahead in a very entertaining game. That was also marked by solid pitching from Roger Craig and a bunch of squanders by St. Louis, really, including an ill-advised run home by Albert Pujols, who we're yet again going to mention. That was a fantastic game. I agree. And thanks to those who are watching, the couple, three of you who are watching. We are now going to head out and see what we're going to do next. I think we are going to continue on. It is Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody's having a good one. If that game was any indication, certainly if you're on the Discord for Field of Dreams, tell a friend that we're on and hop on over. So just like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game, you can phone a friend and tell them to jump on. So we have three folks on at the moment. Chicago and Lehigh is the next game. We're going to sim that. Chicago is 15-19. Lehigh is 15-18. It might actually not be a bad game, but we're going to sim it just the same. And Lehigh gets the win. Rube Foster beats Downing, who falls to 4-3. Boyer went 2 for 4 with his first home run. Chico's in T-ville is next on the slate, and T-ville gets the 3-2 win over Chico's. Next, we have Manchester and St. Pete, with DeGrom on the hill for Manchester, and DeGrom gets the 9-4 win for Manchester over Markham for St. Pete. Burgess went 3 for 3. Beantown and Hagerstown is a win for Beantown, who's 5-2, is moved to 23-13. Next, it'll be San Fran and Edmonton. Let's see if San Fran can keep pace with the Red Bull Nation. And indeed they can. They beat Edmonton 3-2. Dave Stieb moves to 8-0. Bonheim falls to 2-2. Cunningham 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Now this was a game we were going to play, but we're not going to play it right at the moment because, quite frankly, Hadley Lake and Vegas have a great series coming up, and we'll see what happens with Philly and Hadley Lake. Indeed, it's a win for Philly, 2-1. Chris Sale gets the win. Corey Kluber gets the loss. Goose Gossage picks up his 5th save. That would have been a fantastic game. Hadley Lake falls to 17-18, and Philly moves to 17-17. Brooklyn and Long Island is a win for Long Island, who improves to 14-20, while Brooklyn falls to 15-20. Amazing in Cleveland. Amazing is one of the great teams to watch, but Cleveland pulls out the victory. Dotson gets the win. Bergenheimer the loss. Wilson goes 3 for 3 with his 7th homer and 2 and a double. Washington and Degens, we've heard this could be a great series to watch, a great game to watch, but we're not going to play out today. So we want to kind of, at the very least, get past today and see where we can go. And it is a win by the Degens, 3-2. Lolich gets it. Tessereau gets the loss. And Gehrig went 1 for 2 with his 2nd homer and 2 walks. Next up is Lancaster and Crystal Lake. And that's a win for the Lancaster squad. 9-3. Blyleven with the win. Wainwright with the loss. And Maplewood in Vegas. Maplewood is hoping to upset their division leaders here. And they do. Wouldn't you know, Maplewood beats Vegas 6-4 in 15 innings. Caps gets the win, Bard the loss, and Hudson went 3 for 5 with a homer and a triple. So after May 9th, it would appear Vegas is only a game and a half up over Philly and 2 games up over Hadley Lake. Moving on to the 10th, we're not going to repeat the last series we're not going to replay the last game that we played. Obviously not. So we're going to sim this Florence and St. Louis game. If it's anything like the last one, it'll be a fantastic one. And it is a 2-1 win by St. Louis. Matthews with the win, he's 10-1. Rio with the loss, he's 3-3. Boudreaux went 2-4. So wouldn't you know, a couple of great games out at PNC Park. Moving on to Chicago and Lehigh. That's another win for Lehigh, who's 8-5. Luque gets the win. Law the loss. And pardon me as I take a drink of water here and move on to the next game. Those who have never broadcast these games don't realize how much of a strain it is on your voice. Chico's and T-ville. And that's a win by Chico's, upending T-ville. Seaver with the win, Tiant the loss. Ortiz went 2-4 with his 7th homer into RBI. Next up, it's Beantown and Hagerstown. And Beantown gets the win over Hagerstown, 9-6. Malin gets the win. McDaniel the loss. Fielder 4-5 with his 9th homer and 3 RBI. Washington and the D-Gens. You know, we got Rube Waddell. And Bob Feller. And I think this is going to be a great game. So what do you say we flip over and we play it out for the second game? And it's going to be at Fenway Park, in the classic Fenway Park. For whatever reason, my parks are working again. I don't know what happened there, but they're working again, and I'm thankful for that, because I got sick and tired of seeing Camden Yards no matter what I did. I have not done anything to this file or this game. So we're going to head on down to the old ballpark, and we are going to view opponent, computer lineup, view opponent, computer lineup, view opponent, computer lineup, and off to Fenway we go, because that's where the D-Gens play. Another strategically planned pause for a water break. Welcome to Fenway Park for today's game between Washington and D-Gens. Rube Waddell takes the mound for Washington. He's made 10 starts on the year and is 3-4 with an ERA of 5.58. It's his second start against D-Gens. He's 0-1 with a 5.40 ERA against them. He'll be opposed by Bob Feller for the D-Gens. Feller's made 8 starts on the year and is 7-1-3 with an ERA of 5.80. It's his second start against Washington. He's 1-0 with an 0.0 ERA against them. Washington center fielder Cy Seymour is riding an 11-game hitting streak. It's 67 degrees, wind speed 11 miles an hour, left to right. And off to the races we go here on the East Coast. I'm debating whether we'll play a third game or not. We'll see. I'd like to do more than just this couple of days, but that 14-inning game really threw things for a loop. We'll see.
Play ball!
Play ball, indeed. We have leading off for first of all, taking the hill is Bob Feller for the D-Gens. Leading off for Washington is Dan Brothers. He'll be followed by Topsy Hartzell and Mookie Betts and Willie Stargell. If anybody gets on, excuse me, I've already made a mistake. Mookie Betts is the third man, Stargell's the fourth, and then Cy Seymour if things really go crazy. If you are a D-Gens fan, You're wanting to know who's in the field. Out in left is Manny Ramirez. In center field is Carlos Gonzalez, I believe. The Carlos Gonzalez, it is Carlos Gonzalez. Let me confirm that. Carlos Gonzalez. Chris Bryant is in right. Lou Gehrig at first. Lap Lejeune at second. Roger Hornsby at short. Ray Boone at third. And behind the plate is Benji Molina. Dan Brothers will step in, batting .252 with a homer and 11 RBI. The pitch from Feller. And that ball is lifted high. Out behind second. Lajoie collects it for out number one. Next up is Topsy Hartzell, batting .255 with 5 homers and 20 RBIs. Feller gets the sign from Molina and Deal. And that one is smoked back up the middle past the dive of Lajoie, and Hartzell is aboard with one man down. Mookie Betts stands in, batting .361 with 3 homers, 18 RBIs. He's on a 9-game hitting streak as Feller gets situated. The toss homeward. And that ball is scorched to first. Gehrig collects it, fires to second for 1. Hornsby's there, but he can't make the relay for 2, and it's 2 men down. Now up is Willie Stargell, batting .224, 2 homers, 13 RBI. And Feller comes set. He'll wing it over to first and pick off Mookie, who is lollygagging. And just like that, half inning is in the books. No score with the D-Gens coming up. Leading off for the D-Gens will be Carlos Gonzalez, followed by Kevin Youkilis, Manny Ramirez, and Lou Gehrig, if anybody should reach. On the hill for Washington, the Generals, is Rube Waddell. He'll be facing Myers behind the plate. Hebner is at third, Fletcher at short, Kelly at second, and Brothers at first. In the outfield, from left to right, it's Stargell, Seymour, and Mookie Betts. The pitch from Rube Waddell. And that ball is slammed into right field on a line. Base hit. Gonzalez is aboard right off the bat, batting .325 with 5 homers and 24 RBI. Now up it'll be Kevin Youkilis. Oh, excuse me, that's Kevin Youkilis' stat line. I did not read Carlos Gonzalez's. The pitch from Waddell. The throw to first. Not in time. Gonzalez dives back. Waddell fires. And that one's right over the hat of the plate. Strike. No. Ball 4. That could have gone either way, but it's not looking good for the Generals as the D-Gens have put the first 2 men on board. Now up is Manny Ramirez, batting .208 with 2 homers, 7 RBI. The pitch. And that one is hit into the hole. Stargell collects it, but not before the bases were loaded. So the bases are loaded with Lou Gehrig standing in at 172, 2 homers, and 4 RBI. Waddell is having a rocky start. The pitch from him, that hits the corner for strike 3 and a badly needed strikeout. If you're going to strike anybody out, I guess it should be Lou Gehrig. But it gets no easier with Ray Boone standing in. He's got a grand slam already. The third baseman's batting .242 with 3 homers, 14 RBI on the season. The pitch from Waddell. And that one hits the zone. That's strike 3. So just like that, Waddell has rebounded after loading the bases. And it's up to Napoli George, who's batting .250 with 4 homers, 21 RBI. The pitch to LaJoy. And that one hits the zone. So 3 consecutive strikeouts And Lou Wardell shuts down the Degens in a bang, bang, bang move, just like that. He mowed him down, and that's the type of pitcher Wardell is. He can reel off 300 to 400 strikeouts a season easily. Now leading into the top of the second, we have Willie Stargell standing in 224 with 2 homers, 13 RBIs. The pitch from Feller. And that ball looks a shade low, but they call it strike 3. So the pitchers are going to try to match one another here with the K. Now up is Cy Seymour batting .412 with 8 homers and 22 RBI. The pitch to him. And that ball is lifted high and deep to right. But Brian is there, and he makes the catch at the wall for out number 2. Next up, it's Richie Hebner batting .188, 2 homers, 13 RBI. The pitch from Feller. And that ball hits the corner of the zone for strike 3. 3 men down after an inning and a half. No score. Now up comes Rogers Hornsby for the Degens, batting .213 with 5 homers, 11 RBI. The pitch. And Hornsby sends one out to Fletcher, who ranges over, fires to first, and gets his man for out number 1. Next up is Yadier Molina, the catcher, batting .286, 3 homers, 12 RBI. The pitch from Wardell. And that ball is smoked to second. Kelly ranges, flips to first, and gets his man. Wardell has been recovered after loading the bases. Now for the Degens, it's Chris Bryant, batting .098 with 2 RBI. The pitch to Bryant. And that's right over the heart of the plate. Strike 3, strikeout number 4. We head to the top of the third with Joe Kelly standing in for the Generals, batting .213 with 5 RBI. Feller deals. And that's over the heart of the plate. That's strike 3, ball 4. It's ball 4. It looked to be over the heart of the plate, but they called it high, so that's ball 4. Feller has led a runner aboard. Now up comes Chief Myers, batting .296, the homer and 9 RBIs. Kelly waits. Kelly is on board first. Feller looks it over, throws it in. Myers lifts it out to left field. Ramirez goes back just shy of the green monster, catches it, throws it back in, and the runner retreats. It's 1 man down. Art Fletcher is next up, batting .312, 2 homers, 20 RBI. The pitch, the throw to first. Kelly dives back in safely, and we'll try it again. That ball, Fletcher scorches it past Hornsby and into left field. Ramirez retrieves it, but not before the runner reaches. Runners at first and second with 1 man down. Now up it's Dan Brothers, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Certainly is a bit of a threat to drive a run home as Feller comes set. That ball's back out past Feller to Feller. Feller throws to Gehrig for out number 2. And not before the runners advance. Kelly's at third, Fletcher at second, 2 men down. Hartzell's next up. He's 1 for 1, and a base hit here will bring a pair home, more than likely. That ball is smoked into the corner. It'll rattle around by the green monster. 1 run will score. Fletcher will come home as well. And Hartzell motors his way into second for his 10th double of the season to put the Generals up 2-0. Now up we have Mookie Betts for the Generals. It gets no easier for Bob Feller with this man the pitch is over the zone, and Betts will trot down to first. It was apparently inside. Now we have Willie Stargell, who's 0 for 1, and things are coming unraveled for Feller. He needs to compose himself here. So Molina puts down the sign and Feller fires. It goes foul into the seats. Boone races over, but not going to make it there, it would appear. The 2-2 count to Stargell. And that one is another foul and into the dugout. We'll do it all over again. The pitch from Feller. Right over the heart of the plate. That's ball strike 3, but not before the Generals strike on a ring double by Topsy Hartzell down the left field line, and to give the Generals a 2-0 lead, and Rube Waddell on the hill. Now up is Carlos Gonzalez for the D-Gens, and we shall see what happens here. We will see Waddell works. The pitch to Cargo. That's swung on and missed. Strikeout number 5. You're going to see a lot of that from Waddell today. He loves to throw the K, and he keeps it in the zone. And Youkilis is, ironically enough, his only walk of the day. The pitch from Waddell to Youkilis. And that ball is sent into the hole. Stargell retrieves it in left, but not before Youkilis makes it to first. So some promising signs here for the D-Gens as Manny Ramirez stands in 1-for-1. Waddell toes the rubber, looks the runner back, fires, and that ball is launched out to left, high and deep. High and deep. Is it off the Green Monster? Yes. It would appear to be right shy of it. He crashes into the Green Monster, does Stargell. So for a very loud second out, and it gets no easier with Lou Gehrig, who's 0-for-1 on the day, but is a deep threat for sure. The pitch. And that one is scorched into right field. The runner will round second and hit third with Youkilis, and Gehrig is at first. Now Ray Boone stands in. He's going to square off against Waddell. I believe he struck out his last time up. We can check. He's one of the many K-outs. Indeed, he did strike out. And the pitch. And that's right over the heart of the plate. But they're calling it ball 4 once again. Ball 4. The bases are loaded for the D-Gens, and Lejo is standing in. He's a really talented player with the bat, had several 400 seasons. So if anybody's going to hit Waddell, it will be Lejo. The pitch. And that one is lifted. High and deep to left, but Stargell camps under it, right shy of the track. And once again, the D-Gens leave the bases loaded. So after 3, it's 2-0. Washington. Cy Seymour is standing in 0-for-1. He's, as we mentioned before, he's riding an 11-game hitting streak. He'll earn the streak if he can get past Feller, who deals. And that one is bounced high into the air and deep. Carlos Gonzalez at the 420 mark makes the catch. And just like that, one man down. Now it's Richie Hebner, the third baseman, standing in. Feller fires. That one's hit out to center field. High and deep. High and deep. Out over the center field wall. Or is it off the top of the center field wall? Number 6 for Hebner. He just scalded that ball as hard as you could hit it. And the D-Gens are lucky that Hebner stopped at second base. Kelly stands in with one man down, Hebner at second. The pitch. That's a shade inside, and Kelly will take his base for walk number 3 on the day for Feller. Now it's up to Chief Myers, who's 0 for 1. And that ball falls and goes to the backstop. And the runners will advance on the wild pitch. Not what you want to see if you're the D-Gens. Myers has a chance to be a hero. The pitch. And that one's scalded to second. And in a run comes, but the out is logged. So a run comes home the back door. So it's 3-0. 3-0 Generals with Art Fletcher standing in. Still 2 men down. Feller with the pitch. That one sails out to center. Gonzalez is there. He'll make the grab for out number 3. But the Generals add a run of insurance, and it's 3-0 after 3.5. Leading off for the D-Gens is Rogers Hornsby. He's batting .211 with 5 homers, 11 RBIs. The pitch from Waddell. Hornsby turns on it and sends it through the hole and left to get aboard and bring Yadier Molina up. He's over 1 on the day's Molina as Waddell gets the sign. The runner's off the pitch. It looks to be a strike. The throw to second is got him. Just like that, the 0-1 count. 1 man down with Molina standing in. 0-1 count. The pitch. And that ball is out over the inside corner, but it's called strike ball 4. I'm stammering all over the place. Excuse me for that. Molina is aboard with 1 down. Chris Bryant will step in now in all of his old 95 glory. We'll see what he can do against Lou Waddell as the pitch comes plate. And that ball is a stolen base out there by Yadier Molina. Ball 1 on the throw. The defense seem to want to run. They may want to rethink that strategy with many hits as they're getting. Here's the pitch from Waddell. That hits the zone. That's strikeout number 6. 2 men down. Back to the top of the order with Carlos Gonzalez in center. The pitch from Waddell. Cut out and miss. Number 7, Waddell, has been lights out. And despite the fact he's given up 5 hits, the Generals have the lead. We'll take a brief check in the chat here. It seems there really isn't anything going on in the chat. We shall soon see what's going on. I'm going to make another quick check. Hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast to this point. It's about 9:30 on the East Coast. I've been going about 2 hours, it would seem. Dan Brothers stands in. He's 0 for 2. Bob Feller deals. Brothers hits it back up the middle. LaJoie is there. Throws to first. LaJoie does. For out number 1. Next up, it's Topsy Hartzell, who on the day has been the big man on campus for sure. Let's see what he's done today. Today, he's got a pair of hits, a double, and a pair of RBI. A ringing double down the left field line early on. Feller deals. And Topsy Hartzell sends it out to right, high and deep, and out of the ballpark. Are you kidding me? Topsy Hartzell is victimizing Bob Feller. That's his 6th homer of the year, his 3rd RBI of the day. They don't want to see any more of that guy as he races around the base. He's a one-man wrecking crew, and it's 4-0 Washington as Mookie Betts stands in. Feller works. That one's lifted. Out behind short. Hornsby collects it for out number 2. Now up at Stargell, who's 0 for 2. Feller deals to him. And that ball is out over the heart of the plate for strike 3, but not before the Generals add a run here in the top of the 5th to move ahead 4-0. If the D-Gens are going to do anything, they've got to start chipping away, and Euclid might be the man to do it. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk as well. Here's the pitch. That ball is lifted shallow. Center field. Cy Seymour is there, though. He ranges under it and makes the catch for out number 1. Manny Ramirez stands in. He doubled earlier. The pitch to him. That ball is solidly hit to third, and Hebner has it for out number 2. He caught it on a line, did Hebner. Now up comes the 1 for 2 Gehrig as he stands as Waddell deals, and Gehrig is just helpless. That's strikeout number 3. They have no answers for Waddell, who can get a strikeout whenever he needs it. Now leading off the top of the 6th is Cy Seymour. He'll face off against Bob Feller, still riding that 11-game hitting streak. And that ball is bounced to second. LaJoie has it, fires to first for out number 1. Hebner is up. The pitch to him. That's out to second. LaJoie again. Toss to first for out number 2. Next up is Joe Kelly. The pitch from Feller. And Kelly sends it out to center. Gonzalez comes in on it to make the grab for out number 3. After 5.5, still 4-0. Ray Boone standing in for the home team. Waddell deals. Right over the heart of the plate, and that's strike 3, number 9 on the day. They got no answers when Waddell is spot on. Now it's LaJoie. Let's see what he can do. He waves at it. That's strike 3. That's number 10. And Waddell has kept hitters off balance all day, even though he has given up 5 hits. Hornsby will stand in, 1 for 2. Can Waddell strike out the side? It appears that he can not, as that's ball 4 and walk number 4, so it's been feast or famine. Now it's Yadier Molina sampling the pitch, and he sends that one into left field on a looping line drive for a base hit. Hornsby will take third. Runners at the corners, and Chris Bryant at the plate. The pitch. This is the best shot. Yeah, but we'll see what they can do as Waddell deals. And that's right over the heart of Dixie, and that's 11 Ks on the day. Whenever Waddell needs to pull the string, he certainly can do it. So 6 scoreless frames in the books. The D-Gens have out-hit their rivals, but in the score column where it counts, the Generals are up 4-0. Now coming on for Feller is Grant Balfour, it looks like. Indeed it is. Balfour is .338 on the season. ERA 1-0, 13.1 innings, allowed 14 hits, 4 walks, and 9 strikeouts. As we head to the top of the 7th. Myers awaits word. And that ball is shot out past Hornsby and into shallow left. So Myers, just like that, is aboard with Fletcher standing in next. Fletcher's batting .315, 2 homers, and 20 RBIs. The pitch. That one gets by him, and Molina collects it, but not before Myers takes second. The pitch from Balfour. That one's lifted out. A lazy fly ball to right center. Gonzalez is there. He'll make the catch. And Myers will stand pat at second base. Now it's Brothers, who's 0 for 3, batting .246. The pitch from Balfour. And he smokes that one high and deep to right. It's carrying. But Brian is at the track and flags it down for out number 2. The runner will take third on the play, however, and it's up to their arch nemesis, Topsy Hartzell, who already has 3 hits and 3 RBIs on the day. Let's see if ball 4 can figure him out. And that ball is lifted out to center. On comes Gonzalez to make the out, make the grab. After 6.5, it's 4-0. So as we head to the bottom of the 7th, Carlos Gonzalez stands in. He's 1 for 3 for the D-Gens, hoping to get something started against Waddell, who's already fanned 11 on the day. The pitch, they're going to switch up and bring in Barry, Ken Barrett, but it makes no difference as Waddell dispatches him by what of the K. Now it's Euclid standing in. He's one of a few to get on board. He's 1 for 2 on the day. The pitch. Euclid pokes it into shallow left center and gets aboard for the second time today. Next, it'll be Manny Ramirez for the D-Gens. Waddell surveys the situation, and they're going to bring in McMillan for some unknown reason. I'm not sure what. Let's foul off. And Ray McMillan is batting .286. No homers, 1 RBI. Waddell has him in the 0-2, which is not a good place to be. And that's right over the heart of the plate. But he works a walk nonetheless. He coaxes it in. That's walk number 5. I guess it did pay off. That's why I'm in the stadium. And Bernie is right. Waddell is on fire. I would agree with that. Gehrig will stand in. And the D-Gens have a pair on with 1 out. If they're going to do anything, it's going to be with Gehrig here. The pitch from Waddell. And that ball is lifted out to right field. Way back at the wall, Betts makes the grab, but that was a loud out, probably the loudest one of the day. 2 men down with Ray Boone standing in. Boone is 0 for 2. Let's see what magic Waddell can deal. And that ball has a charge put in that. It'll go to first. Brothers has it. He'll take it to first. And just like that, once again, the threat goes by the boards, and the D-Gens are down 4-0, headed into the top of the 8th. Ball 4 will deal to Mookie Betts, who's 0 for 2, or will he? Indeed, he will. Betts lifts that one out to left, high and deep. Nelson's in left. He's a defensive sub. Barry's in center. He's out there as well. And that's out number 1. Now up comes Willie Stargell, who's 0 for 3. And they're going to bring in Jonathan Papelbon here in the 8th inning. We'll see what we get out of him. Stargell takes the pitch, and that ball is hit right to first. Gehrig will tag the bag for out number 2. Now up comes Cy Seymour, who's still awaiting the verdict on his hit streak. Papelbon deals. And that hit streak is looking to be over. Although Barry's back on it and the ball is back at the track, Barry glides under it and makes the shoestring catch out there as he crashes into the wall for out number 3, headed to the bottom of the 8th inning with Lajoie coming up and Waddell back on the hill. The pitch. LaJoie lifts it out to center. Seymour ranges under, and he'll make the grab for number 1. Now it's Hornsby, who's 1 for 2. The pitch to him. And Hornsby lifts it out to left. Stargell ranges over and makes the catches. He leans into the seats. And it's up to Yadier Molina to keep things alive here for the D-Gens. The pitch. That ball is shot into shallow left past the dive of Fletcher, and a runner will be aboard. Chris Bryant stands in. He struck out 3 times today. Will he pick up the golden sombrero from Rube Waddell? It doesn't appear so. It appears he's going to hit one all the way to the wall. Molina will take third and scamper home. And Bryant has his 3rd double of the season. They finally get to Waddell in the most unlikeliest of people. And look at that. Ken Berry will be standing in to lead back at the top of the order. The pitch from Waddell, and that is strike 3. That's 13 on the day. 13 may not be an unlucky number, but Waddell has been deprived of the shutout just the same. The D-Gens have had opportunities. They've had 9 hits, and they've left 12 on. So while Waddell has certainly fanned a lot of men, he's also given up quite a few hits. Now it's Papelbon to try to calm the waters here in the top of the 9th and hold things where they are as Hebner stands in. That one hits the zone and does not hit the zone. Hebner will draw it down to first. That's a walk for Papelbon as Kelly comes up. Kelly's 0 for 1. The pitch to him. That one's lifted out to center. Berry ranges over, makes the grab for out number 1. Hebner will retreat to first base, and on we go. Now up, it's Chief Myers, as it would appear he's going to face Roy Face, 6.75 ERA, 0-2, with 4 saves. The pitch from Face. And that one is lifted out to left center, into the gap. Nelson is there, and he'll scoop it before it hits the ground for out number 2. 2 men down with Fletcher coming up. Here's the pitch. And that one is sent out to second. LaJoie has it, throws to first. So the Generals hold the D-Gens where they are. And Waddell looks like he's going to continue on and try to get the complete game. He's going to have to do it against some very tough bats in Euclid. Well, Nelson may not be quite so tough. Gehrig, and if anybody reaches, Boone. The pitch to Euclid. And that ball is, he hit him. Euclid is smarting from that pitch by Waddell. But in order to get 3 back, you got to get at least 2 on and hope for the best. Now up it's Rocky Nelson, who's batting 200 with a homer, 2 RBIs. They're going to talk things over, Myers and Waddell. The pitch. That ball is shot out to first, and it's a line out. Double play, doubles off Euclid. Wow. Waddell got fortunate there, and it's all up to Gehrig as the pitch comes in. And he ends it. He ends it on a K, just as he began. 14 strikeouts for Rube Waddell, and Washington takes the lead over the D-Gens from Upcountry 4-1. I think the player of the game is most likely going to be Rube Waddell. If it isn't, it should be, because he constantly got out of trouble. And we're going to check. It's Topsy Hartzell. Topsy had a great game. take nothing away from him. He did drive in 3 of the 4 runs, hit a home run, and put the Generals on top early on. But Rube Waddell clearly kept the Degens off the board. The Degens had 9 hits. They stranded a ton of runners. They really did. And the Generals rather put 4 runs across on 6 hits. So they made their hits count. So with that, we are going to move back over to the play game screen. That was a quick game compared to the first game, I must say. We'll see what transpires here. We are going to see St. Pete and Manchester. We'll have a quick autoplay of that. And Manchester gets the win, 8-6. Marquard picks it up. McMahon the loss. Morgan picks up his 3rd homer with 2 RBI. San Fran and Edmonton is a win for Edmonton, which brings Manchester ever closer. They're only 1 game out now, so hold the phone there. It's 6-5 in a 6-5 win for Edmonton. Hunter moves to 6-3. Desians falls to 0-1. Allen went 3-4 with 2 homers. Now Hadley Lake in Philadelphia. I thought about playing a game from this series, but it is getting rather late. I'm running out of some steam. Bernie MV, who is watching over in the great city of Cardiff, says go Bolts. It seems like they're getting closer and closer. We'll see. We got 4 folks on. We'll see what's gonna happen with Hadley Lake. They are probably gonna lose, but they don't. They win. Burdette moves to 8-0. Key falls to 3-3. Worth picks up his 1st homer, obviously for the Philadelphia side, because Hadley Lake doesn't have any home run hitters, and 2 RBI. So with that, Hadley Lake moves back into 2nd place as Brooklyn and Long Island square off. That's a big romp for Long Island, who moves to 15-20. Waite Hoyt picks up the win, bunting the loss. Amazing in Cleveland. There's some amazing magic by Cleveland, who takes the first 2 games in the series at 7-6. He goes, and there we have it. Alexander with a win, Ragetti with a loss, Ripken went 4-for-5. Lancaster and Crystal Lake is a win for Lancaster, albeit by 1 run. Dillmer with the win, Abrams the loss, Howard 2-for-5 with a pair of homers and 3 RBIs. Maplewood in Vegas, the first game in this series went to Maplewood. Vegas is rooting for a win. I know they are, and they just do eke it out with a 1-0 thriller by Roberts. Pavano gets the loss, and Longoria picks goes 1-for-2. So after 2 days of simming and playing, we're only on May 11th, strangely enough. I don't think we're going to play any games from the 11th. I think we're going to try to sim out all these games. And let's say I'm going to play May 11th all out at once. And then we're going to see where things lie after that. Here we go. So it looks to be 4-2. Brooklyn over Long Island. Beantown loses to Hagerstown 10-3. Amazing beats Cleveland, gets a measure of revenge 4-2. Washington loses to the Degens and another thriller. Chapman gets the win. Simmons the loss, and Kelly went 3-for-4 with a homer and 3 RBI. So those 2 teams very evenly matched. Lancaster beats Crystal Lake, 8 doubles them up, and St. Louis gets romps all over Florence, 12-7. Chicago loses their 3rd straight to Lehigh, 4-1, and Manchester is all over St. Pete like a duck on a June bug, 9-0. Jaime Garcia is 1-1. Doheny 1-2. Chico's gets the win over T-ville, who's slumping a bit and Moore moves to 4 and 5, while Pierce falls to 3 and 4. San Fran gets the win over Edmonton 7-3, and Hadley Lake drops another one, another heartbreaker, 2-1 to Roy Oswalt with a win. Eddie Plank the tough luck loss, and Goose Gossage another win. And wouldn't you know, Maplewood takes their second game of the night against Vegas in a 2-1 12-inning win by Gurnier. So after May 11th, it's here's the standings where they stand at the moment. Lancaster is a game up on Degens, 2 games up on Washington. St. Louis in the Around the Horn is up 3.5 over Lehigh and Florence. Beantown is a game up over T-ville, followed by Chico's at 6.5 out. San Fran is 1 up on Manchester, only 1. And Vegas is 1.5 up over Philly and 2 over Hadley Lake. Maplewood is somehow pulling themselves back into it, not having a totally bad season, even at the expense of Vegas. And in the Naturals division, Amazing is 8.5 up over Cleveland. So there we are. We have gone through 3 games. What do we want to see here on Wednesday? We don't really need to see another St. Louis Florence game. We've already seen one of them. It's been a very interesting series, but I think we're gonna roll through this day and see. We don't need to see. I think we've seen all we really want to see of this particular set of games. And maybe next game I will play out Vegas and Hadley Lake, since people are still seem to be hanging around. I think I got another game in me. So we're gonna try and go. We'll sim all of these games here and go from there. How does that sound? All right. It looks as though St. Louis picks up yet another win against Florence. Mathewson with the win. Reynolds the loss. Chicago beats Lehigh. Barber with the win. Brown the loss. Chico's gets the win. Loses to T-ville 3-2. Taylor with the win. Hendricks the loss. Beantown falls to Hagerstown 5-2. Amazing beats Cleveland 8-5. St. Pete upsets Manchester 9-4. San Fran gains that game back that they lost, beating Edmonton 14-5. Hadley Lake drops another heartbreaker, this one in 11 innings. Vida Blue gets the win. Faber the loss. Rudy went 2 for 4. Hadley Lake is just falling off the map, it would appear. Brooklyn falls to Long Island 13-2. Washington falls to the Degens 10-6. Lancaster beats Crystal Lake 6-5, and Vegas beats Maplewood 8-0. So as we head into Thursday games, we have Vegas and Hadley Lake. Do we even want to see Hadley Lake at this point? I think we want to see Vegas, but I don't know if we want to see Hadley Lake. But I guess we're going to give it a shot. We'll sim through these games, call it the 13th, and then whoever wants to pick up the torch tomorrow can go from there. I think we are going to play out Hadley Lake and Vegas. For context, in that division, Vegas is a game and a half up on Philly and 3 up on Hadley Lake. So this is kind of a must-win series. And here we go. Marshfield says do it. So I think I got another game left in me. We'll see how it goes as the late evening crowd crawls in. I'm certainly going to be spent by the end of this game. Nonetheless, here we go. We are going to play, and we are at Turner Field. I don't know what happened with my game, but for whatever reason, the parks are loading correctly again. I have done nothing to this game, so let's get that out of the way. It isn't anything View opponent. We're going to do computer lineup. View opponent. Going to do that. We're going to do view opponent. And then where are we now? All right, we've already done that. So let's go to the game field. Here we are. It's at Turner Field for today's game between Vegas and Hadley Lake. Joe McGinnity takes the mound for Vegas. He's four starts on the year and is 1-2 with an ERA of 4.15. It's his first start against Hadley Lake. He'll be opposed by Red Ruffing, who has made 8 starts on the year and is 3-5 with an ERA of 4.72. It's his second start against Vegas. He's 0-1 with a 4.50 ERA against them. It's 81 degrees, wind speed 6 miles per hour in from left field. This does not bode well for Hadley Lake. I can tell you right now, it does not bode well for Hadley Lake. Nonetheless, we are going to play ball. Leading off for Vegas will be Tim Raines, followed by Roger Cedeno, Harold Baines, and Andre Dawson, if anybody should reach. In the field for Hadley Lake from left to right, we have Ryan Braun in left. BJ Upton is playing in center. That's just great. And Matt Holliday playing in right. At third is Chipper Jones, Joe Cronin at second, short, Charlie Neal at second, and Gil Hodges at first. Behind the plate is Lance Parrish. Even better. Let us see how it's going to shake out. On the hill is Ruffing, who works to Raines. And that ball is shot past Cronin into left field, and the runner Raines will hit second. That's an error on the part of Ryan Braun. It was a base hit in any case. Nonetheless, the hit was confounded by an error by Braun, and right out of the gate, Vegas has the go-ahead run on second base. Cesar Cedeno standing in at 241 with a homer and 1 RBI. Ruffing works. And that ball grazes the zone, but not close enough apparently as the runner makes his way to first. The first 2 men have reached for Vegas, and that's great news for Harold Baines, who is batting 179 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Let's see if Ruffing can induce a double play. The pitch. And that ball is scorched past Cronin into left field. A run will most likely did not score. The bases are loaded, nobody out. And Andre Dawson standing in, batting 222 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs. Red Ruffing has not had a good start. He's been roughed up, if you will. And that ball is swung on and missed, strike 3. So the first out, badly needed out, with Cecil Cooper standing in for Vegas. He's batting 274, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. The pitch. And that one's trickled out to second. A run will most likely score unless it's a double play, and it is not. So a run will come in the back door. Cooper credited with the RBI as Neal threw to first base, but not in time. Now up comes Javi Baez. He's batting 210 with 7 homers and 29 RBI. The pitch from Ruffing. And that's out and over the plate, and it is strike 3. So for all of that, Vegas only scored 1 run. Let's see what Hadley Lake can offer in the bottom of the first. We have Bernie Williams leading off as the DH. Out in the field, or rather at the plate, we also have Joe Cronin next up, Ryan Braun third, and if anybody should reach, Matt Holliday. In the field, it's Cesar Cedeno in left, Dawson in center, Baines in right, followed by Longoria at third, Aparicio at short, Baez at second, Cooper at first, and Smith behind the plate. McGinnity is going to be the starter. The pitch to 196 hitting Bernie Williams. And that ball is smoked high. It's carrying. Dawson is back at the fence, and he'll make the grab. It was allowed out, but it wasn't out. The wind certainly pushed that one back. Now up is Joe Cronin batting 176 with a homer and 5 RBI. The pitch. And that ball hits the zone, hits its mark for strike 3. Strikeout number 1 and out number 2. Now up is Ryan Braun batting 268 with a homer and 5 RBIs. The pitch. Right out over the heart of the plate. That's ball 4. They calling it a ball. Apparently, Hadley Lake will take it, and Matt Holliday will stand in at 286 with 5 homers and 13 RBI. Here's the pitch. And that ball is drilled high and deep to left down the line, and it is caught out there by Cedeno with a lunging last-minute catch. So, after 1, it's 1-0 Vegas. Red Ruffing returns to the hill with Ted Simmons standing in at 272 with 11 RBI. The pitch. And that ball is drilled into right on the line, but it drops right before Holiday can retrieve it. And once again, the lead man is on for the second inning. Now up comes Evan Longoria for Vegas. He's batting 244 with a homer, 13 RBIs. The pitch. That hits the zone for strike 3, strikeout number 3. Good sign there for Hadley Lake as Ruffing logs his first out before a run crosses the plate. Now up it's Luis Aparicio, who's batting 207 with a homer and 14 RBI. And that ball is scorched out to left, high. Fly ball out to left. Braun is there, makes the grab for out number 2. And he chucks it back in with a runner still at first. Tim Baines is now up back to the top of the order as he's 1 for 1 on the day. He got a hit earlier as Ruffing deals. That one shot right back up the middle and into center field. Once again, Upton retrieves it, slings to first, not in time. On a bang-bang play, runners at the corners, and Rogers and Cesar Cedeno, who reached on a walk his last time up. Ruffing fires. That one is lifted out to center field, high and deep. Upton goes back on it, but he can look as it crosses the fence. Just like that, Cesar Cedeno, 3-run home run, and Hadley Lake is in the hole 4-0, just like that. That's only his second homer of the season, but it was a big one. Now, Harold Baines will stand in, and he'll send one out to center, high and deep. Upton ranges on that, but makes the grab too little too late for the Hadley Lake squad as Vegas takes a commanding 4-0 lead an inning and a half in. Now Upton will try to salvage whatever he can of this game for Hadley Lake, batting 071. No homers, no RBIs. McGinnity will deal. That ball is shot into left field. You just never know. B.J. Upton scrapes out a hit, contributes in some small way, and it's up to Gil Rogers to keep the chain going. He's batting 254 with 4 homers, 17 RBI. The pitch. The runner's off. The throw is why they're stealing with 2 men down is anybody's guess. But B.J. Upton took a second base, so we'll take second. as Gil Hodges awaits his second pitch. And that ball is back up the middle and into center field for a bloop hit. It may be a run, we'll see. Upton's at third, Hodges at first, nobody out. Chipper Jones standing in. 227, 5 homers, and 17 RBI. We shall see what transpires. McGinnity's hit a rough patch, it would seem. The pitch, the throw back to first. Hodges lunges back. He's safe. We'll do it all over again. And that ball is sent out to second. Baez throws to second for 1. And it's going to be a double play, naturally, to put 2 men down. But Hadley Lake did scrape out a run to pull within 3. Lance Parrish stands in at 198 with homer and 5 RBIs. The pitch. And that ball is lifted high and deep to left, carrying. It is off into the glove of the left fielder. And just like that, some loud outs don't translate. So after 2, it's 4-1 Vegas. Headed to the top of the third, we have Red Ruffin returning to the hill to face Andre Dawson. The pitch to Dawson. And that ball is sent out on a high arcing drive to center field. Upton's there. He makes the grab for out number 1. Cecil Cooper stands in. He's 0 for 1 on the day as Ruffin deals. And that ball is hits on a screaming line drive into the right field corner, and Cooper will chug all the way to third base with his second triple. Now up comes Javi Baez, who will face Ruffin, and the throw comes homeward. That one's lifted out to center field, high and deep, should be deep enough. Indeed it is. Upton makes the grab, the throw homeward, not in time. And once again, the lead is 4 as Vegas grabs their 5th run of the game. Here we are moving right along to Ted Simmons. He's 1 for 1 on the day. I believe his was the home run. I could be mistaken. No, it was a single. Ruffin throws. And that ball's right back to him. He tosses to first for out number 3. So after 3 innings of Vegas batting, they're up. They've put 5 runs on the board. Hadley Lake coming to the plate with only 1 run here in the bottom of the 3rd. Charlie Neal stands in, batting .291 with a homer, 13 RBI. The pitch to him. And that one is sent out high and deep on the line to Dawson. And he'll grab it for out number 1. Now it's back to the top of the order with Bernie Williams, who's 0 for 1 on the day. McGinnity works. And that one's back to McGinnity, who are off the glove, rather. And somehow or other that ended up at second. Baez flipped it on to first for out number 2. Next up, we have the 0 for 1 Joe Cronin, who's batting a robust 175. The pitch to Cronin. And that was a strike, but a strike him. He had to throw the first to get his man, and he did. So after 3, it is 5-1 Vegas. Now up facing Ruffin will be Longoria, batting 0 for 1. Hubble apparently is coming in. It would appear Ruffin's day is done, and Carl Hubble will be coming in to throw. Hubble, interestingly enough, has got a 2.42 ERA in 22 innings pitched. The pitch to him. And that ball's lifted high to center field. Upton camps under it, makes the grab for out number 1 here in the 4th. Hubble will now face Aparicio, who's 0 for 1, and the pitch. And that one is lifted out to right field. Halliday moves under it, makes the grab for out number 2. Next up, we have Harold Raines back to the top of the order. He's got a pair of hits today, and I believe one of them is a home run, if a memory serves. No, it's not. He got a single, his last double. He got a single, he singled twice. The pitch. And that one's blasted into center field for a base hit. Raines is aboard for the third time today. And Cedillo now is up. He's 1 for 1. He's got 3 RBIs and a home run to go along with it. The pitch, Hubble whirls to first to keep the runner honest. And the pitch from Hubble now. And that ball is lifted high and deep to left field. Ron camps under it, makes the grab, and we are through 3.5. Vegas leads 4-1. Ron will lead off the bottom of the fourth for Hadley Lake, batting .266, the homer and 5 RBI. The pitch. And that one crosses the zone for strike 3 and strikeout number 3. As we had homered. Next up is Matt Howard, batting .283 with 5 homers, 13 RBI. The pitch. And that one is lifted out over the head of Aparicio into shallow left center for a base hit. Upton will stand in. He's got a hit thus far. Runner aboard with 1 man down. McGinnity works. And wouldn't you know, it's a grounder to Aparicio, who gets the lead man, doesn't get the back end for the double play, and Bill Hodges comes back in. He's on for the pitch to Hodges will have to wait as Upton dives back. Pitch from McGinnity. The runner is off. The throw down to second. Upton will grab his second steal of the day. As Hodges is still yet to face, he's got a strike on him. Here's the pitch. And that ball is, we rung him up. That's strikeout number 4. After 4 innings, it's 5-1. Vegas. Now Bain stands in. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He's got a single, I believe. He flied to deep left, and he's had a single between third and short. The pitch. And that ball, a KE, I'm not even sure what that is. Baines, okay, he struck out on a wild pitch. Interestingly enough, he still reached. So wouldn't you know, the way things are going for Hadley Lake, they log it out but can't take advantage of it. So Baines is aboard. Dawson is up. He's 0 for 2. Hubble deals. The ball's hit back to him. He'll toss to second for 1. And on to first for a double play to Hodges. That's a great play there, as Cecil Cooper will stand in. The first baseman is 1 for 2 on the day. The pitch from Hubble. And that one's a screamer down into the corner. Holiday will retrieve it. But once again, Cecil Cooper will have extra bases as he collects a double. That's his 9th double on the season. He's already tripled today. And now it comes up to Javier Baez, who's 0 for 1. Can Hubble slam the door? We will see. Obviously not. Is that lunging grab by Neal, who went against the grain to get the out, and in the inning, halfway home, it's 5-1. Vegas. Now up comes McGinnity. Chipper Jones standing in, 0 for 1 on the day. The pitch to him. And that one's a bounding ball to first. Cooper collects it, takes it to the bag, and retires his man. Lance Parrish is 0 for 1, batting .191. The pitch from McGinnity. And that one's lifted out to center field, high and deep. Dawson's got Randy back on, makes the grab for his number 2. Charlie Neal stands in. You guessed it, he's 0 for 1 as the pitch comes homeward. And that one is bounced past McGinnity over to first by Aparicio, and Neal beats it out to turn over the order. Next up is Bernie Williams, who's 0 for 2. McGinnity looks the runner back and fires home. And that one is shot out to right center. Baines is there, and he'll make the grab. After 5 to 1, Vegas. Hubble will toe the rubber, looking to get the sign from Parrish and fire homeward to Simmons. And that ball is squished into the corner and off the top of the wall. It will be at least a double. It is a double for Simmons right out of the gate, just like that, number 12. Longoria is standing in now at 0 for 2. Hubble needs to collect himself here, and that one is bounced to Jones, who freezes the runner, fires to first for out number 1. Aparicio is up. He's 0 for 2. Hubble works. And that one's lifted to center field. High drive, deep. Upton is there and makes the catch for out number 2. The throw to third, and it's thrown away. Error by Upton. And homeward comes the runner to put Vegas up 6 to 1. So even on a good play, Upton sails the ball wide of its mark, and a run scampers home. Tim Raines has 3 hits for the day for Vegas, and he's 3 for 3 as the pitch comes homeward. Now that one's lifted out to right. It's caught out there by Holiday to end the inning after 5.5. Now up comes Cronin for the Hadley Lake squad, hoping to make a dent into this insurmountable gap is McGinnity Diaz. Cronin's 0 for 2. The pitch. And that one sent fly ball to right, down the line, into the corner. Cedeno's there and fetches it for out number 1. Now it's Ryan Braun standing in, batting .262 with a homer and 5 RBIs. The pitch to him. That one's lifted high and deep. Dawson ranges under, makes the catch for out number 2. Holiday stands in. He got a single his last time up and awaits the pitch. And that one hits the zone for strikeout number 5. After 6 to 1. Vegas. As we head to the 7th, Cedeno stands in. He's had a big blast on the day, 3 RBIs. He's had a homer. The pitch from Hubble. And that's a cue ball out to Neal, who grabs it and dispatches with the runner. Now up we have Harold Baines, 1 for 3 on the day. The pitch from Hubble. And that's a bounder down the first base line. Hodges steps on the bag, makes the out for out number 2. Andre Dawson will come in. He waves the bat, settles in. Hubble deals. Fly ball, center field. Upton is under it. Squeezes it for out number 3. And 6.5 in. 6 to 1. Vegas. Upton will stand in. The pitch to him from McGinnity, as we hear a wonderful rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Baez flings it to first, and by the wayward by the outstretched glove of Cooper. That's his fourth. And with that, Upton will make second base. Let's see if the Hadley Lake Hammers can capitalize. Hodges awaits the pitch. And that one is shot out to right. Baines is there. He'll make the grab, and Upton will stay home. One man down. 0 for 2, Chipper Jones settles in. The third baseman is batting 224, 5 homers, 17 RBI. The pitch. It looked a little inside, and it was. And we have David Lando joining for the late night broadcast as Hadley Lake gets pounded. This Hadley Lake is getting pounded. David's Chicago team has been on the fit of bad luck. Speaking of teams on a bad run, his and Hadley Lakes are really struggling to get a foothold. Now up comes Lance Parrish, batting 188 with a homer and 5 RBI. The pitch from McGinnity, who's going to get a talking to from Simmons. And here's the pitch. That ball is lifted out to left. Cedeno makes the catch for out number 2. Two men down. And it's all up to Charlie Neal, who's got a hit today. McGinnity works. Neal fouls it off. We'll do it all over again. The 0-2 count. And that hits the zone for strike 3. Number 6. And on to the 8th we go. Vegas well in control. Carl Hubbell's still out there. He'll face Cooper, who's 2 for 3. He's doubled and tripled today. And now we'll see. That looks like that's a high charge to center. And back at the wall is Upton. He'll make the grab for number 1. Next up, we have Baez, who's batting 208, 7 homers, and 30 RBIs. That would appear to be ball strike 3. Hubble second on the day. Ted Simmons up now, 281, no homers, 11 RBIs, 2 for 3. And that one's lifted out to center, high and deep. Upton can forget about that. Maybe not. He caught it at the track, crashing into the wall. Out number 3. On to the bottom of the 8th we go with Bernie Williams leading off. 191 with 3 homers, 11 RBIs. The pitch. And that one shot into center field for a base hit. Williams will stand at first. He had to put a charge into that, but it was so hard hit, he could only make it to first. Cronin is up now. He's 0 for 3. And he'll lift that ball high and deep to left. Down the line, it is. We'll see what it is. It looks to be an out right at the track for out number 1. Next, we have Ryan Braun standing in. And Ryan Braun is going to be substituted for Colby Rasmus, who jolts one into right field for a base hit. And just like that, we have runners at first and second. With 1 man down, and Holiday coming up. The pitch to Holiday, who's 1 for 3. And he'll send it out to Baez, past Baez. And wouldn't you know the Hadley Lake Hammers have a threat going, if you could call this a threat. Bases loaded, bottom of the 8th inning, down by 5 runs. Upton is at the plate. He waves the bat and just keeps on waving it for strike. Walks in a run. McGinnity will force home a run on an intention on a base on ball. And Hadley Lake has pulled scraped the second run of the day up. And up comes Gil Hodges. The tying run is at the plate. As unbelievable as this may seem. The pitch. And that's strike 3, strikeout number 7. The second man down. Now it's all up to Chipper Jones, who's 0 for 2. And that ball is lifted high and deep to right. It is caught out there by Baines for out number 3 on a sensational play. Baines plucked it out of thin air just as it was going to hit the ground. Hubble's still on the hill as we head to the 9th. Longoria is coming up 0 for 3 for Vegas. And that ball is shot out to Cronin, who makes a sensational grab for the first out of the inning. The pitch to Aparicio. And that ball is lifted to center field. Upton comes in on it, makes the catch for out number 2. And next up, we have Tim Raines, who's 3 for 4. The pitch to Raines. That ball's back to the mound. Hubble can't glove it. Neal does, throws to first, and retires the side. They have their work cut out for them. Do Hadley Wade. And they have to do it with Parrish, Neal, and Williams. We'll see how things shake out as Joe McGinnity toes the rubber. Parrish cuts ready. The pitch. And that ball is to Longoria, who scoffs it up and fires to first for out number 1. Now it's Neal's turn at bat. He's 1 for 3 on the day. The pitch, and that's shot into the right field corner. Neal trots to second, and he'll try for third. Why not when you're down by 4? Why not? That's his second triple of the season. With Bernie Williams standing in at the top of the order, 1 for 4. The pitch. And that appears to have walked Bernie, so that's 4. 4 walks on the day. Cronin's up, 0 for 4. The pitch to him. And he puts a charge in it out to center, but probably not deep enough. Maybe it is, though. It is deep. And it is. We'll see what happens with it. A run comes home, but they'll take it on a fly ball out. Cronin drives one home. What a sensational catch at the wall to put a stamp on that play. Now Pete Rose is going to pinch hit. Rarely does, if ever, does he get it at bat, but he's facing McGinnity here. The pitch. And that ball is into left, excuse me. And Rose is aboard with a pinch hit single. Now up is Matt Holliday. And a 3-run deficit. Holliday could tie it up with a lucky shot. 2 for 4. McGinnity throws. And that ball is, what a play by Aparicio to end the game. He, once again, some loud outs this inning, but Vegas hangs on to take the 6-3 win and take a decisive lead over the flailing Hadley Lake. We'll see who the player of the game is, but if I'm going to say anybody, I'm going to say Cesar Cedeno. And it was Cesar Cedeno who grabs the player of the game. So we'll go back and try to finish out this day. I'm getting kind of tired. I've been sitting here. It's almost 10:30. It is 10:30 Eastern. And I've been sitting here for 3 hours, talking for 3 hours. Hope you guys have enjoyed the broadcast thus far. Maybe I'll jump on Discord. I can see what everybody's up to today. Cleveland and Brooklyn. There's a win for Brooklyn, 2-0. Lancaster and Degens. That would have been a good game to broadcast, better than Hadley Lake and Vegas, if the truth be told. And Degens gets the win. Papelbon gets it. Ruschel picks up the loss, and it's 3-2 for the Degens. Chico's and Hagerstown. That's an 8-3 win for Hagerstown. Barnard the win, Klein the loss. Washington and Crystal Lake is a win for Crystal Lake. Now that's frustrating if you're Washington to have the team you do to be losing to Crystal Lake, who's 11-27. Verlander the win, Tesoro the loss. Now up comes Florence and Lehigh. And that is a win for Lehigh. Florence's spiral continues. Lehigh's back to 500. Luque the win, Tehran the loss. San Fran and Manchester would be a sensational game to play. So I tell you what I'm going to do. No, I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to sim today, and we'll leave off here. And whoever wants to broadcast either later tonight or tomorrow, we'll have plenty of great games starting with the 14th through 16th. Hopefully, there's plenty of good baseball yet to be played. So we will see who does what. And that is a win by San Fran, 8-5. Steve goes to 9-0. DeGrom falls to 3-2. And Vaughn goes 4-4 with 2 doubles. St. Pete and Edmonton is a win for the Edmonton squad, 7-5. Maplewood grabs the 7-1 win over, Philadelphia grabs the 7-1 win over Maplewood. And let's see what happens with Chicago and St. Louis. That would be a 2-0 win by St. Louis as Chicago falls to 16-23. So we're going to leave off there because Friday the 14th will be the next day. We're going to run over the standings yet again. We played probably 5 days. It's been about a week. 5 days of sim time. We played 3 games. And in the Moneyball division, we have Beantown and T-ville still duking it out for first place. They're tied. Around the Horn, St. Louis has extended their lead to 4.5 over Lehigh. Florence has spiraled out of control and has fallen 5.5 back. And Chicago is hot on their heels at 8 out. Now in the Sandlot division, it would appear Lancaster and Degens are tied. There's a great game there for the future of that division for anyone to broadcast tomorrow. They're 3 games clear of Washington, and Crystal Lake is 10 out. The Naturals division would be Amazings. They are up 10 games over Cleveland and Brooklyn. The Benchwarmers, Vegas has a 1.5 game lead over Philly, 4 games over Hadley Lake, who's 3 games under. Maplewood is 13-25, 8.5 out. In the rain delay division, it would appear San Fran has opened up a 3-game spread over Manchester with a decisive series that they're playing. Manchester's looking to grab at least 1 game to pull within 2. But that's the standings of the divisions at this point. And it's been a wonderful evening broadcasting with you folks. I don't get to do this as much as I would like. For those that don't know, I've got a lot of different obligations and things that make it hard to do. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to read the messages before I log off. It would appear a lot of these messages have already been posted in YouTube. So what we're going to do from here is I will zip up the league, or zip up the file. Thank you all for joining us. We got 5 people on, the most we've had all night. If any of you guys, I'll give you before I log off. If you're skipping to the end of the broadcast or watching it live, the first game was a 14-inning game. I won't spoil the winner, but it was between Florence and St. Louis. The second game was a bit of a blowout but still a decent game just the same. And then the third game definitely was a blowout in Hadley Lake and Vegas. Vegas has a super team and could well be the team to beat, although San Fran is quite tough themselves at 725 winning percentage. So the playoffs are still quite a ways away, and those of us who are hoping just to get a wild card can take some consolation in the fact that we're only 7 or 8 games out of that one. We may as well be playing for the division if our name is Hadley Lake. So with that, I'm going to bid you all adieu. I'm going to log off here, try to anyway, zip this right up, and maybe I'll jump on Discord for a few minutes and go from there. Let us say good night all, and we'll see you have a happy Labor Day tomorrow.